We have an update and a change to Royal Caribbean's wine policy. And for those that like to sail out of Galveston, Texas, well, Carnival Cruise Lines has dropped some really good news. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. All right, we're going to start with Royal Caribbean and a change to their wine policy. So their current policy is that you can bring 2 bottles of wine per stateroom on embarkation day. So you can bring it with you on the ship, enjoy in your room, take it to the dining room for the corkage fee, but you currently can bring 2 bottles of wine per stateroom on board the ship. Well, they're changing that, and it's going to go to 1 bottle of wine per adult of drinking age. So if you only have 1 adult staying in a cabin, 1 bottle of wine. But if you have 3 adults staying in a cabin, you can have 3 bottles of wine. Now, this is a minor change that mostly will affect solo cruisers that like to take wine on board, because if you were solo cruising, you could take 2 bottles on because it was per stateroom. Now, if you're a solo cruiser, it's only going to be 1 bottle per adult. Now, if it's normally 2 adults in your room, then it's still going to be 2 bottles. But if you have, let's say, 3 or more adults staying in a room, it's 1 bottle per adult, so you can actually bring more wine on board. So a kind of a minor little change, but if you do like to bring wine on board Royal Caribbean ships, just be aware of this change, because if you show up with more than what you're allowed to bring, they are going to confiscate it, hold it from you, and will not return it till the end of the cruise. Now, if you're taking back-to-back Royal Caribbean cruises, you can bring 1 bottle on per adult per cruise, and the one that is for your 2nd, 3rd, or 4th cruise, however many back-to-backs you're taking, they're going to take those bottles, hold them for you until the embarkation day of that next cruise. They just ask that you bring the paperwork with you showing you're booked on a back-to-back cruise. That way they can properly get it back to you. And finally, Carnival Cruise Lines, well, they have dropped some really good news. At least I think it's really good news for those that like to sail out of Galveston, Texas. Now, the port of Galveston continues to grow. We get more cruise ships down here. We get more cruise lines with Norwegian coming. Princess Cruise Line's now sailing out of Galveston. On top of Carnival, on top of Royal Caribbean, on top of Disney Cruise Lines. So the port of Galveston grows. More and more ships coming here all of the time. But the one thing that Galveston has kind of been lacking here, especially the last couple of years, is a variety of itineraries. The majority of the time, if you sail out of Galveston, you're getting Western Caribbean. So you're talking Progreso, Cozumel, Costa Maya, Belize, Roatan. That's normally what you see on cruises out of Galveston, 4, 5, and 7 night cruises. Now, occasionally you'll see one that goes over to the Eastern Caribbean, but they're not all that common. And that's been one of the things that people cruising out of Galveston have been asking for, a variety of itineraries. Well, Carnival Cruise Line has heard the request, and they're doing something about it by not only giving us some new itineraries, but they're bringing a 4th cruise ship to Galveston in order to sail these itineraries. So Carnival has announced that the Carnival Miracle is going to be joining the fleet here in Galveston, Texas, and it all starts October the 1st of 2024 with a repositioning cruise of the Miracle from San Francisco through the Panama Canal over to Galveston, Texas. Now, the Miracle is going to join the Carnival Dream, the Carnival Breeze, and the Carnival Jubilee, but it is going to be the Carnival Miracle that's going to be sailing the new and longer itineraries. We're going to finally see a little bit more Eastern Caribbean cruises. Now, keep in mind, in order to do Eastern Caribbean cruises, they have to be longer sailings. So the majority of the sailings that's going to be done by the Miracle are going to be 9-night cruises. So if you're looking for a longer cruise with a different itinerary, sailing out of Galveston, then the Carnival Miracle is going to be the ship for you. So like I said, she's going to be doing 9-night cruises to the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Belize, Cozumel, Mahogany Bay, Key West, Bimini, Half Moon Key, Grand Turk, Aruba, Bonaire, and the Bahamas. So that's quite a few places that you just normally don't see sailing out of Galveston. And this is good news because this is something that people have been asking for. More Eastern Caribbean cruises, a change in the itinerary, something just a little bit different than constantly going to Cozumel, Mexico. Not that there's anything wrong with Cozumel. I love Cozumel, but I'd like the opportunity to see more places from the home port that is closest to me, which is Galveston, Texas. And like I said, a lot of other people have been asking for it. Carnival's heard us asking for it, and now they've done something about it. So the first cruise actually out of Galveston is going to be on October the 16th of 2024. So if that's something you're interested in, some of these itineraries you're looking for, definitely go over to Carnival's website, look at the Carnival Miracle in October of 2024. You should see your sailing out of Galveston, and you should see all of the new opportunities and the new itineraries that she's going to be offering, just like everybody has asked for. And me personally, I'm definitely excited to visit some of these places I have not been to yet without having to go to Florida just to necessarily see them. All right, and that's going to be our cruise news video for today. If you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day, and like always, we will see you out on the high seas.